What's up, my friends and fellow readers? Today I am talking about what will probably be one of my favorite books of the year, and that is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is a Gothic horror novel, adult, that takes place in the 1950s. Noemi is this young, well-off girl who doesn't want to settle down and doesn't really have much going for her in her life. She's just trying to enjoy and have fun. And her dad sends her on this trip to this mansion in Mexico where her cousin, who has recently been married, lives, because this cousin, Catalina, has written Noemi's father letters that have concerned him about her status there in this mansion. She's married into this white family, and the letters have gotten more erratic. So Noemi travels on her own to this mansion to see what's going on with her cousin. When she gets there, things are a little weird. They won't let her see Catalina. They said that she has tuberculosis and that's why she's having all these fits and sleeping and needs rest and doesn't need to see Noemi. But Noemi's being treated by the family like an outsider, and she's expected to adhere to their rules where they don't really talk much, they don't question anything, they have a specific bedtime and they eat meals at specific times. And she is starting to slowly get wigged out by the things that she is seeing or feeling or dreaming, and eventually there's a slow build up to the climax of the story. But Gothic horror it is. It was so well done. I loved the writing style. I loved the pacing. Now, the pacing is something that a lot of people seem to have trouble with if they didn't fully love the story. My take on that is that if you like slow tension building horror, wherein you get gradually more and more tense, heading up to the end, to the climax, this is for you. Like, if you've liked the movie Get Out, if you've liked Hereditary, if you've liked The Witch, any of those movies where things are starting out a little strange, a little off, and get weirder and weirder and weirder until it hits, the weird it culminates into this big thing, Mexican Gothic will be for you. I have no doubt about it. If you like horror genres, there's a lot of trigger warnings for, we'll say, miscarriage and weird birth-related struggles. So if those things are things that aren't good for you, then I would recommend not tackling this, as it is pretty graphic in a couple scenes, as well as there's a little bit of sexual harassment, but it doesn't play a huge role. So if it's something that you can get beyond, it's a minor trigger warning for you, then I would recommend still trying this. That said, this has been one of my favorite books of the year so far. I have been on a huge horror kick, as you might have noticed, and I was a little apprehensive going in because Silvia Moreno Garcia wrote a book last year or the year before that I just could not get into, and I had highly anticipated and ended up DNFing. So I was apprehensive about this, but the cover really sold me and the idea of a Gothic horror really sold me. So I gave her a chance, and I'm so glad I did, because you will absolutely see this on my top 10 list of 2020. A bit of spoilers if you are here to stay. I will put it down on the screen below so you know it's time to dip if it is. And thank you for being here. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you're new here and want to see more content from me, yada yada, you know how it goes. All right, that said, this book is so insane because it's so well researched, and that the house itself becomes a character, and the characters within it are so dynamic because it is a generational thing where they have, this one main god, and he is the head of the household, and he takes over bodies of the younger generation so that he can continue to grow and live. And the house has become part of that, so it keeps that family there so that, the youngest one, the next on the chopping block, doesn't get cold feet and dip. And outsiders obviously aren't welcome unless they are perfect for breeding, in which case you are stuck there. That's where a lot of the birthing comes in, because there's rituals, and the rituals are pretty gross and dynamic and part of the larger spectrum. That said, I absolutely loved this. The slow build was one of my favorites. I love slow build horrors. The movies that I mentioned before are some of my favorites that I've ever seen. So if those things sound up your alley, I would highly recommend Mexican Gothic. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. No questions asked. Yep. Let me know down below if you've read this or if you intend to read it, or if I've swayed you to read it. That's it for me, guys. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you are new here and would like to see more content from me. I post all my social media links down below. You can find me on Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. I hope to see you in the next mini review, and have a great day, week, life, you know. Read some good books.